some tips and tricks to start loving your online library. Let's get started. We'll start by navigating to our library website, which is sdglibrary.ca, and once there you should see our home page with My Account at the top in some gray writing. Once you click on that, it's going to take you to a new page with some login information. Here, if you've never logged in before, it's going to ask you for your barcode and your password, and then it will come up with some more prompts, including filling out a username that is more easily remembered than perhaps your barcode, and that will give you access to our catalog. So we're going to go ahead now and put in our barcode. That's all of the numbers on your library card without any spaces. As I said, you do get the chance to choose a unique username once you log in for the first time that might be easier to remember for you than the barcode. Now our password is going to be set to the last 4 digits of our phone number, but you can also change that once you log in. So we're going to go ahead and click Log In, the blue button at the bottom there, and momentarily it should take us to My Library Dashboard, which is the main page you're going to see once you log in. Underneath where it says My Library Dashboard at the top, you'll see it says Welcome Bob Taub. That is this user's username that they have selected for themselves. You'll also see a big section where it says My Borrowing. You'll see all of your checked out items as well as any items that you have on hold, your borrowing history, and your fees if you have any of those. So you might have noticed that on our checked out section there's this little red warning that says December 1st. Sometimes there'll be an exclamation mark next to it that indicates an overdue item, but the calendar red warning lets you know that there's an item due on that date. So we're going to click and see what's out on the account. We can see that there are 3 items, one of which is due today. Now, one of the main advantages of this catalog is how easy it makes renewing items. So we're going to go ahead and show you how easy that is. All you need to do is click the blue Renew button next to the item that you would like to renew. So we're going to go ahead and do that on the DVD Montana Sky, and you'll see at the bottom a green bar pops up saying successfully renewed your items, and it now says 7 days remaining, renewed 2 times on the item itself. Now it's just as easy to renew all your items by selecting the checkbox at the top. A bar appears at the bottom where it says Renew Selected Items. We're not going to do that as none of these items are actually due, but that just shows how easy it is. You'll also see that when I click Manage Items, it brings up some different shelf choices that you can use. Now, whenever you give an item a rating, it's going to move the item from your In Progress shelf, which is the default shelf any item goes on, to your completed shelf. So we'll show you with Clash of Eagles that if we give it a rating, where the shelf changes and you get a notification that says that it has been moved to your completed shelf and that this action is visible to the community. You can always change who sees your activity in your privacy settings, but it is a nice feature to be able to share your thoughts with the community around you, including the other SDG library users as well as patrons from all across North America. Now I did mention that it does tell you how many renewals you have taken on each item. So you can see that Montana Sky, it says renewed 2 times. Now you do get a maximum of 3 renewals with our items, unless of course someone is waiting for that item, but it's nice that it keeps track of all of that information for you. You'll always get a warning if someone is waiting for the item and it cannot be renewed. So just bear that in mind when you are using our online catalog. So now we're going to take a look at our On Hold section. Here you might notice that there is a green check mark, which actually means that there is an item ready for us. You might also see a little truck, which means that there is an item that is shipped for you and it's on its way. When it arrives, you will get a notification from your library, and of course it'll change to a green check mark on this dashboard. So here we can see the 2 items that are on hold for this patron, one of which is ready for pickup and one of which isn't. We can see that we are first on 4 copies of the title, which shouldn't be too long of a wait. Now here you can also manage your holds. So we're going to go ahead and show you the process of a failed cancel hold, because you can't actually cancel a hold that is already ready. So you click that cancel hold, it'll think for a moment, and then a red error message at the bottom will pop up saying cannot cancel hold that is already ready for pickup. So that's not a problem. That's just what will happen if you try to cancel something that's already ready for you. So we'll show you some other ways that you can manage your items. So an easy way, if you're not ready for an item, whether you don't have time to read it right now, is to pause a hold. So to pause a hold, you just click the blue pause hold button. It brings up a dialog, and you will be able to select a date to deactivate your hold until then. So on that date, the hold becomes active again. So we're going to select it, and we're going to say December 15th because hopefully by then the item is ready to ship to us and we can get it in time for the holidays. So then you just click yes, pause hold, and it should think for a second, and then you will see that it pops up and says paused at the top in a little blue box, and it tells you when it is pause until. If suddenly you do have time or you want that item sooner, you can click resume hold and it will reactivate the hold right away. And again, you'll see it come up not ready, number 1 of 4 copies. So that's how easy it is to pause a hold. Now if we decide we don't want the item at all, we can add it to our for later shelf, or we can cancel the hold. Adding it to the for later shelf will not automatically cancel the hold, but it will do some neat things that we can show you in a few minutes. So we're just going to hit cancel hold there, and then yes, cancel hold, and it'll remove it from our holds, and the green notification at the bottom comes up saying successfully canceled holds. So the other area of interest is our borrowing history. It's enabled on this account, and it should be enabled automatically on yours too. And you'll see that it's blank here because this user has not returned any items to the library. So it's only once you've returned those items that they show up in this borrowing history. Otherwise, they are on your checked out shelf. So in our fees, we can see here that we have $1 in fees, and that there's Montana Sky in there. We can see when it was checked out, and the reason we have that fine, because we were overdue with it. So once you pay your fines, it'll clear, and once you refresh it, it would be cleared from there. But you do unfortunately have to go visit a library branch in order to pay those fines down. At this time, we don't have an option for online payment. We're going to go back to my library dashboard by selecting our username at the top right of the screen and going to My Library Dashboard on the drop-down menu. Now we can see that there is something on the For Later shelf, and we're going to look a little bit more in depth about the For Later shelf. So we're going to see what happens when we add more items to our For Later shelf by searching in the bar at the top. So we're going to search the catalog for Harry Potter, and we're going to see what is available for us to borrow. So we're going to scroll down, and we're going to find something that's a physical item, and we're going to add it to our For Later shelf. So by doing that, it's going to give us the little green pop-up, and now if we go back up to our username, select the For Later shelf on the drop-down menu, we're going to see that there are 2 items, and that we can manage our items from here on the For Later shelf. So let's return to our library dashboard, and now we can see that the For Later shelf looks a bit different with Available Now from my For Later shelf. So because there's a title available, it's going to show that you can place a hold on this item for delivery to you. If we decide we no longer want the item, we can go straight to my For Later shelf, and where it has the little button that says Manage Item, you can click it, click the drop-down menu, it'll bring a pop-up, you click the Remove Item blue button, and get that green dialog that says Confirmed. Back on my dashboard, you'll now see that my For Later shelf looks just like it did before when we just had the James Patterson, and that Place Hold dialog is gone from underneath, and it doesn't say Available. We will look at how to place holds in just a moment, but I'm going to show you some features of your profile. So scrolling down, you can see my profile, and if you click View and Edit, it'll bring you to this next page. Here you could add information about yourself, your interests, you can add your social media, customize your rating scale, and you can see all of your recent activity as well. Now if you go back up to the drop-down menu you get from clicking your name and go to My Settings, you can customize even more things. So this is where you would change things like your email address, your username, and your password by hitting the change after each little information. So you put in your current password, your new password, and hit Save Password before going back. We're not going to do that today, obviously. You can also, as I said, change your username if you like. You cannot change your address or do your library card renewal through this site. You do have to still contact your branch in order to do so, just so that we have everything up to date in our records. Now if you keep scrolling down, you're going to see some account preferences, including borrowing history, so you can see that it's enabled, and you could always change that by clicking change. And you can also see holds and pickup locations. So by going in here, you can see several options. So the first is that you can change your pickup location with this drop-down menu. We're going to go ahead and leave it as Avonmore branch for now. And you can also see a toggle for single click holds. Now it's just a click and it goes on or off. As you can see, we're going to leave it off just so you can see what happens when we go do some holds. So always remember to save your changes. It will give you the green check mark. And now we're going to go make a hold. So you can go and search for anything you would like in our catalog by clicking the search bar at the top. So in our old catalog, you used to have to search with the author's last name first and then their first name. But the nice thing about this catalog is it's much more intuitive, and if you type simply James Patterson, you're going to get the results for James Patterson. So you'll see here all the titles we have of James Patterson that are available, and you can see that they are grouped. The whole title and every format we have for that title is underneath it. So you might see checkout now next to an ebook, but all of our physical items will have place a hold. So we're going to go ahead and place a hold on this item, the 20th victim, just by clicking that green button. Now you'll see here that it says pick up at Avonmore branch, and you could change it. It should always default to whatever branch we have set in our system for you, but you can change it here. And then you would hit the blue confirm hold button that is on the right there, and you'll see it think for a second and then say hold requested, and it will give you your place in line. Now if we wanted to request another title, it's the same thing. We hit place hold, we make sure our pickup branch is good, and we can hit confirm hold. Or from here we could enable single click holds. Just an easier step if you haven't done it through your drop down menu. And once you hit confirm holds, it's going to give you the same request. But now if we hit place hold on another item, instead of giving us that menu, it requests right away. So that's the advantage of single click holds, is it eliminates a step. Very useful if you're always going to pick up from the same branch. Back in my account preferences, we can see that single click holds have been enabled, and if you are ever making any changes, don't forget to save them as you leave. So now we're going to go ahead and make another search. This time we're going to search for a popular title, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So we go ahead, type that into our search bar, we hit search, and it'll bring up a list of all of the titles we have that match. So you can see here that we have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and it has a book from 2016, an audiobook, a book from 1999, and our ebook copy as well. So it's really nice because it shows you all those options we have right at a glance. You can also see that we have the movie and the French version of the book at the bottom there. Now if we modify our search just for Harry Potter, it's going to again give us all of the titles that match that, and we can filter our results by type that we want. So if you look on the left, you'll see all of the different formats, and if we just want to see what Harry Potter movies we have, we would click DVD, and it's going to show us there all of the DVDs that we have for Harry Potter. A new search that we can do for an author would be Nora Roberts. So we're going to go ahead and search for her. We'll see that she has lots of different formats too. So we'll see books, large print, audiobooks, movies. Now, if we want to see the audiobooks, we would go to that filter results by and click audiobook. And it should filter out everything that is not an audiobook. So you'll only see the items that we have for Nora Roberts that you can listen to. Some of them might be e-audiobooks, some of them might be playaways, but you'll see them all there. You'll also see that there might be other authors listed. So Nora Roberts has a pen name, J.D. Robb, so it's there. And you can just clear the filters at the top with that blue link, and it'll bring you back to everything we have in the catalog by Nora Roberts. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what happens when we want to look at everything in our catalog. So you're simply going to search all in our search bar at the top, and it's going to bring up every item in our catalog. So you'll see that all of the filters are active at the top there, and you can clear them, so it doesn't really matter, and it sorts by date acquired. It's still showing everything there, and that's how you can narrow it down again with the format by just looking at the large print, for example. So you can also then change the sort by, so we'll see the date acquired, and you'll see that all of the titles at the top are on order, so they are coming very soon to our catalog, so you would have to place a hold on them for them to come to you, but those are the newest items we have. You can also click and see what's available now by branch. So if you click on Avonmore branch, it's going to show you the newest items in Avonmore. So you can see Disclose is the newest item that the branch has, and it's available at a preferred location because our home location is set for Avonmore. And you can check what Alexandria has the exact same way. So it's always going to show you what's available now. So those on order items will not show up if you hit available now, but if you search all, they will. So we're going to search for J.D. Robb, Nora Roberts' pen name, and we're going to see what's available by J.D. Robb in Alexandria. So ebooks are always going to show up as available at every branch because they are a virtual resource, so you can access them from anywhere, including from home. But you can see here that there are quite a few titles available in Alexandria if you happen to be there and want to see what they have. You can also further narrow down on that section on the left by form or genre. So you can choose just the thrillers, which J.D. Robb is known for, but perhaps if you're picking an author who writes more widely, you could do that. You can narrow down by publication date. There are many, many different options for you to help you find what you're looking for or to just explore new items. So you can also search by date acquired. Again, that's going to sort them newest first. You can search by relevance, and you can search by rating as well, by what our fellow users rate the items. So you can again see that the ebook that is publication date, the newest one, Golden in Death, is at the top. And that's just by searching available now by branch. You don't have to use that feature because of course once you place a hold, we can ship the item wherever you would like. We have seen how easy it is to search, but if you would like, you can use other filters other than keyword, such as author or series or subject. I prefer to use keyword because it's going to get you the most results. It's going to search everything, and you can always search by relevance, sort by relevance, afterwards. But that keyword is, like I said, going to get you as many results as possible when you are looking for something in particular. So a cool feature about this catalog versus the one we used to use is interactivity. So if you go to the blue bar at the top and click the Explore tab, you can go to Recent Activity. Here you're going to see what community members have been up to in our catalog. So at the top you'll see staff lists, which are curated for you by staff with their suggestions and picks around a certain theme. You'll also see recently reviewed books by members of our community, recently reviewed DVDs, recently rated titles, and other recent lists that might be by staff or other community members. You can explore each of the categories more fully by clicking the arrows that appear to the far right of each list, and that will give you more options to choose from. So if we go up and we decide to explore what one of the recently reviewed books is, we can click on it and we can scroll down and see those ratings and reviews left by users. Some of them will be SDG patrons, as we know that our recent activity highlights those books that we have been reading, which is really neat. It's really fun to see what other people in our community have been reading, and it's a cool way to sometimes anonymously share what you've been reading and what you've loved lately, and it's a good way to find books that you wouldn't normally know about. So we're going to go back to that recent activity page, and we're going to look at a list here. So you can go into, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, for example, and you can scroll through all of the titles that the staff have selected, and you can see that they write nice annotations to let you know what the book is about or what they liked about it, so that you have more of an idea before you ask for an item. You can also see whether a title is available immediately, and it'll say available in some locations, and you can click for more information. So this one's in Morrisburg, and if it's at your preferred location, it will tell you that, and you can click again and see that it is indeed in Avamore. You can place holds right from a list, which is an awesome feature if you find something that you really love. These items are obviously all in our catalog since staff found them and recommended from there, and you can see sometimes that all the copies are in use. If you click more information, you can even see the due date. So you know roughly how long you'd be waiting before you got that item. So we're going to go back to the Explore tab, and here we can just scroll through and see more of those items. At the bottom, you'll see recent tags. So that's another way you can find materials by tagging them. You can see what has been tagged most recently. Back under our Explore tab, we can also explore new titles by clicking that link. It's going to show us all of the titles new to the library, just arrived and possibly on order as well, and you can always filter those down by clicking any of these bars at the top. So you can choose content, fiction, nonfiction, who you would like to see, so adults or children, etc. So if we hit browse all titles, it's going to drag us to the bottom, and what we actually want to do in order to see all of the titles is right at the bottom there in a little blue link. It says view all new titles. So if we click that, it brings us to a list in the catalog. So it's an advanced search, but you don't have to know how to search it, and it shows that it's all items new within the last 180 days. Lots of these are in use, so if you want to see items that are on order as well, you can just click clear filters at the top there, and it will also show us those on order items that we're waiting to come in. So that's our newly acquired items and how to find those very easily, or you can also search all in our catalog like we did before. Since we are using a shared computer today, we're going to click our username at the top right and hit log out to make sure that our account stays secure. If you're using your own laptop, you can always stay logged in, and you can have your laptop remember your username and password so that you don't have to. It's not necessary as long as you're using your own device. So once you click log out, it brings you to that login screen ready for the next user. That's it for our tech tutorial on BiblioCore today. We hope that you are able to learn something and that you are now much more comfortable using your online catalog. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of our branches. Staff will be happy to assist you in getting accustomed to your new online catalog. We are hoping to do some more tech tutorials, so if you have a subject that you need help with, please let us know, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.